For a small skiff to fish the sound or rivers, or a huge offshore tuna machine, Defiance Marine has it. At Defiance Marine, be sure to power your boat with a Honda outboard package. Take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty on your Honda outboards. Our service department is always here to help and serve you as the customer. Did you know Defiance Marine has boat financing experts to help get you the best term rates on your new boat purchase? If you need financing for that new boat, call us today. We guarantee the best price, best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine also carries all the gear that you will need. Everything from auxiliary kicker motors to fishing tackle and bait. Defiance Marine has certified technicians that are top-notch at their job. Some of the best in the Pacific Northwest at evaluating your boat issues and problems. Stop in today or give us a call for all your needs at Defiance Marine.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts with services ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. Phoenix client management models are built on understanding our clients' security needs and responding with a tailored program that is best fit for them. Phoenix provides excellent customer service through well-trained, highly motivated security professionals. Recruiting highly qualified officers is the first step in building a strong team. Currently, we are comprised of 70% prior law enforcement and military veterans. If you are prior military or law enforcement, go to www.phoenixprotectivecorps.com and apply today.
Here we go.
We got a ballistic solution app on my...
Tuna grounds are on the ocean, Tommy.
We're gonna do that. Don't go anywhere.
We've got all the great fish that make great fish and chips.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fish Out Northwest. Waiting on Tommy Donlin. Back in studio.
Man, it's good to be back. First show of the year.
First show of the year. Here we are. So much to get to, so much to get through. We got a lot of catching up to do. How about this weather?
I thought I was going to have to, get out of my truck, launch the drift boat to get to your house.
You're talking about the road coming in?
Yeah, I think I crossed 5 streams coming down. Yeah,
which is a first for us out here. Those that have lived here much longer than I. We've been out here about 6 years, and even in 2015-16 when we had like a ton of rain. I don't remember water washing over the road like it is.
That was unreal.
We are getting a ton of rain, and rivers are going to be going straight up. Steelheading is going to be put on hold for a bit. Blackmouth fishing is happening. We're going to get into all that a little bit. It's just, it's good to see. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
How was your holidays?
Yeah. It was great, man. It was greait.
Yeah.
Yep. Time spent with family and friends. You can't beat that.
Snow for Christmas.
Yeah.
And then
got Junior on the quad. Got him out in the snow. He loved it.
Well, go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got Harper that Jeep for Christmas.
Right.
And she's been killing it. had a little incident here with the garage door yesterday, but other than that, she's doing pretty well.
Her
So
first insurance claim, huh?
Yeah, girl's got to have her Jeeps, and she was like, "Papa, did you guys put those stickers on there? Did they come with the Jeep?" I'm saying, "No, we actually put those on to be just like Grammy's Jeep." So yeah, good times, man. Christmas is so much fun with the little kids. Just can't get enough of it. Anyway, we are happy to be back in studio. Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I want to remind everybody, you can follow us all week long via social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're on Twitter, believe it or not, and also our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so, please do us a favor. Jump over to our YouTube channel and give us a subscribe. Hit the like on some of our videos. Check out some of the stuff you haven't caught up on in a while. There's tons of content over there, lots of how-tos, recipes, the whole thing. All that at YouTube, and of course our video vault here at Facebook. Also, take some time, if you would, go to our webpage, fishhuntnw.com. You can get to our online store with all our swag, everything that we offer, some of the stuff Tommy and I wear on a regular basis, and the beard. You can get all of that over at fishhuntnw.com, not to mention the great blogs and the how-tos and all the information that is there we provide for you as we move on through the year. And speaking of that, it is a new year, man, 2022, huh?
Yep, time to own it.
Time to own it. Man, we got some big plans for 2022. Can't wait to take you all along with us throughout the year and all the adventures we're going to be taking on and all the different fisheries and the hunting and stuff that we love to do. So hopefully 2021 was beneficial to many. I know you and I stuffed our freezers.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Quite a bit, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it was a good year with all the ups and downs and all the crap going on.
Yeah, I mean, we completely covered the sea and the field.
I think we did.
I mean, everything.
I think we did.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
And we wrapped up our year with a fantastic goose hunt just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was phenomenal. That was the first time I've ever done that.
It was so much fun.
And,
over there with Shelby Ross.
That was a blast, literally.
Yeah, literally. And our invite that we extended out to a handful of folks, we had 10 persons over there with us, and it all just came together.
It came together like right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fast and furious.
Yeah.
We didn't even have time to go out and pick up the birds that we shot before the next wave was coming in.
They're screaming at you. Levi's like, "Get back in the blind." It's like, we got dead birds jumping around out here. So
Dwayne, get down.
Yeah, there was that one I laid down. I'm trying to run cameras and capture this for you guys so we can bring it to you next week, hopefully. And the birds are coming in, and Shelby says, "Hit the deck." So there I am, literally face down in the dirt, and the shooting starts, and it goes over my head, and I heard a thud right behind me, and I had a nice big honker.
You almost got whacked by a goose.
It was about 3 feet off my boot that hit the dirt, man. It was unbelievable, but it was a great time. We were able to take our guests that were with us. We enjoyed the Mardon Resort staff Christmas party and all the free food, and the timing was
entertainment provided by Dakota Portman.
Dakota Portman was there, and we entertained. He entertained the folks for sure. Some were just like, "Who in the heck?
Who is this guy?
What did he just say?"
Yeah, right.
So, good times for sure. We're gonna definitely do that some more. We're going to also try to put together a pheasant hunt here, maybe just after the first of the year. So, be mindful of that. But we got things to do and things going on. So, lots of things to look forward to, Tommy. I think I'm going to jump out with our buddy Matt Messing on Saturday, do some blackmouth fishing. Go check that out. I'm running down to the coast of Oregon next week. Jump in. Kyle is doing very well on a select number of rivers he's fishing on the coast, Kyle Bushelman, and I get down there at least once a year, if not twice, and do some steelhead fishing with him. And we've brought that to you guys before, some of the broodstock programs that go on down there in Oregon, which are second to none, and a footprint or a blueprint for Washington State to take note of and try to replicate if they could. So there's definitely some things coming up. Then I've got some local fisheries here, steelhead fishing when these rivers drop.
Yeah.
Going to be taking.
And then,
advantage.
I mean, 3 weeks away, we've got the show season. We've got
Good
the sportsman
point.
show starting up.
Yeah.
We're going to be there for that.
We are.
And then immediately, kind of integrated with that, you got the Seattle Boat Show.
The boat show's coming up. So we're going to delve into all that information here moving into the very near future, because that'll be on us before we know it. And I know there's going to be some restrictions, probably mask requirements, vaccinations, maybe, I don't know where they're landing. specific to the Sportsman Show, but Tommy and I are going to be there as much as we can all 5 days in our booth and meeting and greeting and selling our swag and just saying hi to folks. And we just want to encourage everybody to come out and support that because we didn't get a show last year.
Yeah, I know.
We did not get a show last year, so we're going to really pull out all the stops and be there this year. Looking forward to seeing a lot of people. So be nice to get a good showing in that regard. Thomas, while we were enjoying our Christmas dinner, there were some folks working. Yeah,
there was.
Call to duty, so to speak. I'm not talking fire department. I mean, that's kind of a given if you get stuck working Christmas. But WDFW takes it in the shorts quite often. But when they do good things, we got to
recognize it.
We like to recognize it. Thank you. So that so happened on Christmas. Christopher Flowers and crew at the Kendall Creek Hatchery had their hands full when at about 11:30 p.m. the first alarm went off, notifying Christopher, and he went to figure out what was going on, and we realized they had a pump that had shut down, and so he fired it back up, checked everything, checked the systems, and good to go, because water flow is important, Tommy, right? We've lost millions of fish in the past due to generator malfunctions and backup systems not working, and people were up in arms like, what the hell? Don't they do, periodic checks on these systems?
Well, and we can't afford to lose any more, right?
We cannot.
Yeah.
We cannot. So then an hour later, alarm goes off again. Christopher returns and resets some things, only to have pump 4. Apparently it caught on fire. So I think he put it out with some snow. Inclement weather, I mean, he was up against it, man. The snow was dumping like crazy. Yeah. The freezing conditions were happening. He's got millions of salmon steelhead to keep alive, not to mention the eggs and incubation trays that need sustained
water and oxygen.
Yep. So he kind of remedies that issue, and then again at 3:30 in the morning, another alarm goes off. He's lost pump 5 now. Some other crew members showed up. Took him a couple hours to rectify the situation, but long story short, these guys put in the work to ensure that the water was getting to where the water needed to go.
Yep.
The ponds, the rearing areas, the incubation trays, the whole thing, in that they didn't end up losing basically any fish, right? They ended up actually saving, if I got it in my notes here, they had 1.5 million spring Chinook, 850,000 Nooksack River coho yearlings, 1 million coho in incubation, 100,000 winter steelhead, 575,000 Kendall Creek coho. I mean, we're talking
millions of fish. Yeah.
So if the gold star goes to anybody, it's Christopher Flowers and crew at the Kendall Creek Hatchery facility for WDFW. Hats off to you guys, spending your Christmas getting that done. Literally, Tommy, saving millions of lives.
Yeah.
Millions of lives.
Literally.
Literally. Anyway, want to remind everybody, hey, Fisherman's Brew is still a part of Fish Hunt Northwest. We encourage you, if you have not done so, get on board, man. Get on to fishermansbrew.com. Check them out. Order some coffee. 5% of your money is going to go to salmon recovery. I mean, what other coffee company in the State's doing that right now? Okay? So let's give Fisherman's Brew the support they deserve. Small business, entrepreneur business here in Washington State in the Northwest, trying to do good things for fishermen and helping us out. So they're helping us. We need to help them. Get online. Do us a favor here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Help us support them. Fishermansbrew.com. Okay, running down the show. Tommy, we got a barn burner tonight, buddy. We got lots of information to get through. In-studio guest, former Washington State Representative Brian Blake is here, Tommy. You met him earlier.
Yep.
Good guy. He has submitted his name for the Fish and Wildlife Commission seat. If you're not aware, we'll take a look at who he is and where he stands on a number of issues. I know this is a point of contention for some folks, but I've known Brian for a very long time, and he and I, though we always don't see eye to eye, we've had very gentlemanly conversations, right? Because there's mutual respect, I think. And
yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, so we can carry on these adult conversations, but we're going to put him in the hot seat tonight. We're going to ask the direct questions that you all want to know, because our social media has been blowing up with, hey, you better ask him this. Moving on from there, you and I spent a little time on the water here a few weeks ago with the Squid King of Seattle, Captain Paul Kim. We were able to get out there and do a little squid jigging.
What a blast that was.
Wasn't that a great time?
Oh, my God.
Weather was almost like tonight, but not quite as blustery, but good enough. We got into some squid, and Paul is so good with information on how to be successful. We're going to bring that to you later on here in the show. Then we'll come back in studio, round 2 with Brian Blake. He's not a one-round punch kind of guy. We got to hit him twice. So Brian Blake back in the hot seat. What he thinks about the current state of the commission and what he thinks he can bring to the table, and will he earn your support? That's the key here. Let's see what he has to say. And then we're going to close out the show, Tommy. Before we get out of here, we have the recipe of the week. We showed you how to catch them. Now we're going to get with Chef Jeff Maxfield and Shing in the kitchen. We'll show you an amazing Italian sausage stuffed squid recipe you'll definitely want to try. Tommy, we can say that because you and I...
We did try it.
Oh, my gosh.
Not only did Shing make it, right, and it was phenomenal.
Right.
I wanted to see if the recipe was repeatable.
Yeah.
And so I made it, and it was phenomenal.
Isn't it something?
And so if you follow the recipe laid out by Chef Jeff, you're going to be in
It's
good
a home
hands.
run.
Yeah, it's
and it
run.
is so good. You take squid, you think, oh, they're going to be tough. It's going to be... No, man, I'm telling you. It is
not at all.
Unbelievable. So... We want to show you guys how to go get them, and we had a great time doing that. And then, of course, we're going to show you guys how to cook them up in the kitchen with Chef Jeff and Sherry. So really a full-rounded show tonight. Lots of information coming at you guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. You got questions for Brian Blake, make sure you fire them off here on the Messenger. We'll try to get to as many of those as we can. Although, that being said, Tommy and I have a host of questions for Brian as we get through those 2 in-depth segments with him. A little longer show tonight, but that's okay. We got a lot of information to cover. We're just glad to be back. 2022, starting it off right. I want to welcome everybody back in studio with us, and so glad you're here. We are going to jump out for a quick break. When we come back, Brian Blake here in the hot seat, vying for a commissioner at-large position, I believe. We'll see what he has to say when we come back right here, Fish on Northwest.
An Outdoor Emporium is the largest local outfitter in the Northwest since 1975, providing thousands of people affordable outdoor gear. This summer, make your next outdoor adventure more affordable by shopping at our warehouse-style pricing. We are a local Scotty dealer, offering sales, service, and repair. Located in Fife and Seattle, come visit us today. The outdoors await you.
It's easier than ever to browse homes and connect with an agent on the go with Better Homes & Gardens Real Estate's mobile app. With the app, your home search is synced across all of your devices, so you can pick up your home search anytime, anywhere. Take full advantage of an enriched, mobile-optimized map search experience. Use location services to quickly find homes near you that match your search criteria. Draw your own map boundaries to find homes in a specific area, and apply layers to view school districts, neighborhoods, zip codes, and more. The app's user-friendly design makes it easier than ever to find a home you'll love. Narrow down your search results, save your search criteria, and save your favorite homes. You can browse your saved homes in a list view that puts photos and key details like price and square footage right at your fingertips. Or check out your saved homes displayed on the map.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish. Welcome back, Fish on Northwest. Wayne England, Tommy Donlin here in studio with an in-studio guest, first one of the year.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
awesome.
Brian Blake, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. This is something I've wanted to do, and then once I found out you were running for a commission seat, I thought, what better time to finally get you here in studio?
Yeah, I don't know if running is the right word.
Well,
but
running is probably a loose term.
I've
there, but
applied
you've
and I'm willing to serve.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, long history with you in the state of Washington, Brian. You served as a state legislator, state representative in the 19th district, second position, seat 2?
Seat 2, yeah.
Right? And you're submitting for the at-large position? Or
you don't necessarily submit for one or the other,
you
but
just put your name in.
You put your name in. You fill out the application.
Okay. You were in the 19th district from 2002 to 2020. 18 years.
Yeah. So it was December 17th of 2002.
Okay.
And when I first took the oath, and then the term ended, I think, in January, first week in January of 21.
Okay. So that particular region of our state seems to be comprised of a lot of loggers back in the day. Not so much anymore, right? But there are still a good number, right? Commercial fishermen, oyster farms,
cranberries,
agriculture.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's pretty much your constituents.
The state's finest beef comes from the 19th district.
Yeah. So, talk a little bit about those folks that you represented in that region of our state.
Yeah, a very natural resources oriented economy. Mm-hmm. I came out of high school and went into logging to pay for college, and then realized I enjoyed logging and went in to do that full time. But yeah, the district is very natural resources oriented economy, mills, and logging, seafood processing, and it's just salt of the earth folks down there.
Okay.
So as part of that legislative career that you had, for about 12 years there, you were the chairman of the Natural Resources Committee.
Right.
Talk about how that role that you perform applies to this commission seat and kind of the management of fishing game.
Yeah, so it's not intuitive, how government works.
Yeah.
And so I came into the legislature a little green. Some folks come in, they have local government experience. Well, my experience was hunting, fishing, and logging, and I did go to school for forestry, and then finished up at Evergreen in environmental studies, and which gave me a really good background. And then serving as chair, you got to know the players, and you had the ability to call people into your office and talk to folks and learn, and every day was a learning experience for me. I grew up in a hunting and fishing household, and grew up around folks associated with the agency. And my father would have gone into probably fish and wildlife, but he realized back then in the day it didn't pay as well as going into teaching.
Sure.
And so yeah, you get to know folks, and it takes a while to understand budgets and who's blowing smoke, and understanding. And I wanted to hear from folks. Some of the folks really struggled because they would come in and tell me what they thought I wanted to hear. And I had to stop folks and say, wait a minute, I'm not that legislator or that legislator. I want you to tell me the facts. And I may respond to those facts one way or another, but you're the expert. I want to understand your perspective and your knowledge. And it took a while, but and as people churned over, you had to develop that relationship to folks. And I mean, I can't count the times where I knew I wanted something out of the agency, and they would explain it to me, and I'm like, wait a minute, if I choose this, I've kind of boxed myself in here, and if I choose that, oh man,
you couldn't just make decisions. You had to look at the long game.
Yeah, there's
right?
not always good choices, and there were some politicians will pander, and I didn't want to be that guy.
Right, there's enough of that going on.
And I remember a friend who met a pretty powerful politician, came in, and my constituent came in, I demand you made this decision. All right, Senator. A week later, same politician called him in and said, you changed your decision, and I got a constituent that's mad, and I expect you to change your decision.
Right? Yeah.
All right, whatever you want, and I didn't want to be that guy. And because these agency folks have it hard enough.
Yeah.
I also came into the legislative process thinking a Department of Ecology would be my biggest pain in the ass. It didn't take a week before I realized that Fish and Wildlife was
is where the
fight was.
Yeah, where the fight was. Yeah, good point.
And where I also realized that it was always going to be that way. It's a very, you know, I rifle hunt for elk, and sometimes I bow hunt for elk, and I muzzleloader for elk. This year, those three groups don't necessarily get along.
Right. A lot of infighting.
A lot of tug and pull.
We all want more fish. We all want more opportunity on the public lands, but we got divisiveness amongst our little, you know, in groups within our groups, right? And it doesn't bode well for our success. So, hey, I want to ask you. So, as a state representative, representing a district or an area, you're representing the people that vote you into office. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you keep their intentions in mind when you go in and you're, you know, listen to lobbyists, and you're trying to make decisions based on what you feel is the direction things need to go. So, I mean, you and I have had many conversations in the realm of commercial fishing, Gill Net, in the history within the region you represented.
Yeah.
Long-standing history of commercial fisheries and your support for commercial fisheries. There are a lot of people, and I would say probably 9 to 1. Number one concern, people going into this thing, obviously Tommy and I cater predominantly to a recreational base.
Absolutely.
So you can understand that the big rub here is, well, Brian Blake has a long-standing history of commercial interest first, recreational second. So moving forward, you find.
And I would disagree with that, but
okay, well that's the perception. So fair enough. You're sitting in a commission seat. Folks are very concerned that you're sitting there on behalf of commercial fisheries first. Recreational will get what they get, kind of an approach. What do you have to say to those people?
Yeah. So, as a elected representative of a district, your job is your district. Within that legislative job, when you accept a chairmanship, your job becomes broader and statewide and responsible to both the members of your caucus and the members of the minority caucus. One thing, you know, I think you will see in my history as a legislator and chairman is my respect for making sure the minority was heard. And that said, so the legislative job is a different job. One of the problems I've had with commissioners these last few years is nice people. I'm not going to point out any individuals, but when you accept that commission seat, you have accepted that you are going to work to support the mandate that the agency has.
Right.
It's in statute. The legislature has codified it. It's in statute. This is the mission of this agency. And as a commissioner, I believe you have to accept that that's the mandate that you've been appointed to do. And part of that mandate is both sport fishing and commercial fishing and hunting. Overarching all that, frankly, is conservation, though. I mean, you've got to have habitat, and you've got to have healthy wildlife communities before we can have those other things. And so the commission job to me is a different job than chair of the Natural Resources Committee, and been very frustrated. I remember talking to a commissioner who, you know, frankly, just point blank told me his job was to represent just this narrow constituency. And it's like, no, it's not. You're here to represent the mandate of the commission.
Well, it sounds to me like you recognize the value of that.
Yeah,
it's like just a little corner of the state. Now it's an umbrella over the entire state.
You bet. And I think it's important to have a full commission, full 9-member commission.
We're going to get into that, absolutely.
We're going to touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I think it's part of this commission role, and a hot topic from a lot of the viewers of the show is gill nets, right?
Yeah.
I think we received a ton of comments about gill nets, right? And so, with that in mind, and then also thinking about hatchery production, right? Our hatchery production has done more or less nothing but decline over the last 30 years. And so, and really, I'm an ocean guy, right? Dwayne's more of the freshwater guy. I'm a saltwater guy. I'm all about more hatchery production. And if that means that I need more commercial fishermen in the system, that's fine. Because I know that even if you said, Tommy, you're going to get 10% of a very large number of fish to go, fish on, versus a large percentage of a small number of hatchery fish, still a small number. And so the question is, can we really increase the hatchery production and expect a decrease in the amount of commercial fishing that happens, particularly in the Columbia River?
Yeah, and it's a difficult question. Right now we're talking about Columbia River reform. The two commissions have subcommittees meeting between Oregon and Washington, and they're talking about some of that stuff. And they are talking about the bill in the legislature now to overturn Initiative 77 and make legal fish wheels, pound nets, all that stuff that was voted out by the people, make all that stuff legal again. And can you imagine fish wheels at the mouth of the Cowlitz River and Kalama River and Lewis River and the pound nets? You will see. I bet Tuesday you will see Wild Fish Conservancy testify on the bill. I've heard rumors that they're supporting anywhere from 15 to 30 of these pound nets on the Columbia River.
That's a great segue, because it was going to lead into what are your thoughts? Where do you stand on moving into the future, recovering our fisheries as we've spent billions of dollars in attempts to do so all across the state, right? Is there a need for, or is it even achievable to have the conversation of selective harvest when it comes to commercial fishing? Is it something that we can actually work towards, or is it even achievable, or is it just a pipe dream out there?
Well, be careful what you wish for is what I would ask. In talking with a commissioner about that, early in the discussion, I saw a draft of the document between Oregon and Washington, and said you've got to choose a commercial fishery that's most selective. And then later there was a clause in there that mentioned that, and it can't negatively affect any upstream fisheries. And it's like, hello, folks, if you put in 1, 5, 10, 15 pound nets, and say they have a 2% mortality, and so they're just scooping hatchery fish out of the system in the lower Columbia River, how can that not harm an upstream fishery?
Aren't they held, wouldn't they be, so this is nothing that's been implemented, obviously, so until you implement things, you don't really have rules of engagement. In my mind, of course, I'm simple-minded. I look at, let's say you do have pound nets, and I'm not advocating solely for pound nets, don't get me wrong, but let's say we go down that road. Commercial allocation, recreational allocation. There's a percentage that's recognized as we get the agreed to fisheries. So we move forward into 2023. Commercial harvest is a mixed bag of pound nets or selective harvest options, along with some gill nets, also out there collecting their fish. They have a percentage of the quota. They have a percentage of the take. They have the ability to close those things off. So this pound net's working on this day for a few days, and they harvest a percentage of the hatchery take, and it's on the front edge of the run. So that makes sense. You don't want to just take everything off the front edge of the run, right? We know that. So this net is in operation for a few days on a week, and then it's maybe closed for 10 days, and then they open it back up to grab a little bit more as you get into the first third of the run. And in my mind, it seems to me that those conversations would happen if we're truly engaging in the conversation of selective harvest, pound net, whatever type of fish wheel net, whatever contraption you want to use. But in the realm of having a conversation of selective harvest, That might be your phone. You want to take that call?
No.
I would think that would be more realistic than not, unless I'm completely missing the boat here.
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't know.
Right.
We don't know how that would work out.
Do you think it's achievable? Do you think there's a means of trying to figure out how to be more selective in our commercial harvest? Look, we're not going to get rid of commercial fisheries. Tommy and I will agree on that all day long. But is there room to curtail some of the behavior we've done for over 100-something years and try to be more selective in our harvest opportunities?
To what end?
Well, to make sure we're not having the impacts on the wild fish that we currently have. The mortality rate on gill netting is much higher than 2%.
Well, the way I would classify it is give us a total system that allows us to increase our hatchery production to the full capacity of the river. That's whatever that system is. And so I think
agree with you there.
What you're kind of saying is, well, what does that mean?
I think
for
everybody's interested in that.
Well, yeah, because then everybody fishes. When we have plenty of fish, everybody fishes. Nobody complains.
Yeah.
That hasn't been the case for 20 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think there's just some flies in the ointment that you folks better be
aware of.
Going to this with their eyes open.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's fair enough.
And if that bill passes and fish wheels are legal, I can see that gear being deployed. And just be careful what you wish for.
I guess we'll have to see.
I think the Columbia River is a federally managed fish. They issue a permit. Those are ESA runs, and they say X% of the wild portion of the run, whatever wild is, is going to die.
Yep.
And it doesn't. If you eliminate the commercial end of things, that portion is still going to die. They're going to be caught, and so I just said, be cautious about what you wish for. I know folks are not real warm to the current fishery, and I went out and observed it myself. When I observed it, when they were targeting coho, they were catching coho, and not touching any steelhead, and so I'm open to change, and I think that we'll see what comes out of this session, but I'm cautious because I know some of the players. And I'm not sure that they're being fully truthful about how this ends up.
I could see that, knowing some of the players also.
Well, I mean, Wild Fish Conservancy is a known enemy of the state. It doesn't matter who you are.
100%.
There's some other organizations that are wolves in sheep clothing, and we won't name them, but that totally play into this, right?
Sure.
And the whole process that you have to undertake to provide these fisheries involves on the order of 30 plus organizations that all want to have their hand in the pie, right?
Yep.
And so speaking of all of these different user groups, and when you boil it down to commercial, tribal, and sport fishing, how, when you're somebody on the commission and you have an issue that you have to determine a decision on, how do you prioritize between I've got these three primary user groups. How is this one issue going to go? Do I rule in favor of the commercial guys? Do I rule in favor of the sport guys or the tribal guys or gals? How do you do that?
Well, I think, again, overarching everything is conservation. We've got 13 runs of endangered fish on the Columbia River.
Chinook.
And we've got to be interested in recovery of those species and get them off the darn list. One of the things I've been very proud of is we don't have listed fish on the coast where I live. Where
that's a good point.
I've been able to point to folks that say, oh, logging and farming, and I say, wait a minute, I'm in the middle of logging and farming, and we don't have listed fish.
Right.
And, you know, when the reporter for the Seattle Times writes from the office in the middle of the largest permanent clear cut in the state and starts to demonize rural Washington, I get a little protective. And that said, we've got work to do. I'm a sports fisherman. I'm an elk hunter. I'm a duck hunter. And yeah, I grumbled when they made us switch to steel shot, but it was the right thing to do. If the science gets there that I have to switch from a cup and core bullet and go to a mono bullet, I'll go there. I've used some of those copper bullets, and they did work. I'm partial to nozzlers myself.
Acubons?
Yeah.
Oh, amen, brother. Amen.
Long-range Acubons, but...
well, getting back on that, do you think do you have the ability as a commissioner to be fair and balanced across the board? And Tommy
I think I do.
Tommy mentioned those 3 user groups, and you know, we're all vying for that last fish, unfortunately, but I think in some regards we're also working better together than we have in a very long time.
Which was something I worked on for 18 years, is there's still folks out there that want to demonize the tribes and want to demonize other fishermen. And so if folks are asking me, do I think we'll recover fish by eliminating fishing user groups, I don't think we will.
Right. Well, that being said, do you think in some regards, north of Falcon, for example, do the tribes hold too much power at times? Do they handcuff WDFW and or the commission in some regards, or do you think it's a pretty fair and equitable relationship?
Have not sat through a single North of Falcon meeting.
Fair enough.
You know, one of the things...
How about an outside observation looking in?
Outside observation, you know, word of mouth, I think they play hardball, as they should, and as we should. And I'm not fully versed in all the changes. I do know that the lawsuit that's going on that seems to be trying to push a crisis, was at Fish Northwest.
Their lawsuit is based on harvest percentages. In recent years, tribes take being in excess of what their allotted allocation was, and there's some documentation to support their claim. So yeah, it landed in court and it's being tried right now. But
I think folks better be careful with that one. If you go back and read the Bolt decision, you know, it's the tribes fish last. I mean, we get shut down, they continue to fish. So I would just caution folks, lawsuits like that, I don't think they're productive. Having worked with the tribes, they want what we want. And I think for us to get into a better bargaining position, we should work with them to restore numbers of fish back to grow this pie. When there's lots of fish, we don't have much to fight about.
This is a good point. Yeah.
You know, so one of the questions that I wanted to ask was with regards to Inslee's $187 million, salmon recovery proposal, salmon and steelhead proposal, and in that proposal there is a buyout clause for gill nets in the Columbia, and we've seen that before. It didn't work so well. Now, I'm not a genius by any means, but if you look at how the fish are allocated in terms of the percentage of the run, does it really matter if there's 20 less gill netters in the system? Are the same, because they can only catch so many fish. So how does that work? And is this buyout clause in Inslee's proposal, does it matter, or is it going to be effective?
You know, I think that the previous, the industry and the department sat down and negotiated a process, and for whatever reason, some legislators came in and mucked with that process. Had the previous money been allocated and spent it would have reduced the number of licenses. And with a goal of right-sizing the fleet. For whatever reason, folks blew those agreements up, and the governor vetoed what the legislature put in the law. This is a different take. I think it's designed to buy out the entire fleet the way it's designed. But I don't have those details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a small mention in that overall review of his ask. Tommy and I kind of beat it up, finding a lot of holes in the entire program, and the ask for $187 million. We were like, well, where's this money going towards? And we saw the Gill Net buyout again, and look, I mean, and you know where I stand on Gill Nets, and I would advocate for some type of, selective harvest, hands down, but it's failed so many times before. Even when it was up and going, when the Gill Net reform was in place, implemented, while you were in seat, and it was going through that 5-year process, only to be rolled back, that buyout, they weren't lining up to hand over their licenses and Gill Nets to get handed a check, even though the incentive was to say, if you come the first year, you're going to get more.
There was no money ever allocated.
Well, yeah, okay. So
yeah,
but
you're talking about the previous Columbia River reform. Yeah, that whole reform was designed to fail.
Okay,
in my opinion, and so I don't know how this commission, the two commissions, move forward. I think they're struggling.
Yeah. Do you think at times there's too much input and/or control, advisement maybe from either the governor's office, JT, or otherwise directly to the commission? The reason I say that is because we watched the debacle that we'll get into later on, next segment, on the spring bear, which you're well aware of. There seemed to be a lot of political posturing and leveraging, and I'll say it, Chair Larry Carpenter kind of blindsided everybody, in my opinion, and it really looked like he was catering to some direction. And the only way he's going to receive direction is coming from that upper office. So I look at the commission and go, okay, I get it. You're appointed by the governor. You're confirmed by the Senate. But how much input do you think comes down out of that governor's office, or does he even care?
Well, it's unknown. I don't have any direct evidence.
Sure.
The bottom line is Larry is not currently appointed to the Fish and Wildlife Commission to attend.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
He's occupying the seat,
correct,
unappointed.
That is right. Yep. It's been extended with no explanation, no reappointment, no confirmation, So it's like, is he buying his time and getting told what to do? The question's been thrown around by many groups and whatnot, right? Yeah. To say, is there more leverage coming from that governor's office onto the commission currently than anybody really realizes, or is that just a fabricated, position?
It's hard for me to tell exactly.
Okay.
I know a lot of the players, and I don't have any smoking gun, if that's the question.
No, well, if you did, you would.
Well, I do have a smoking gun, but it's from my bear hunt.
Yeah, yep. So.
And I think the point there is, JT Austin, who is a senior policy advisor to Inslee, right, for natural resources. If you look at her resume, you would think she was on the commission, right? And so, I think the point is that we're getting at is when the commission makes a decision, are they really making the decision as an entity, or is it, well, they're being affected by these external, entities like JT Austin?
Unknown. I will tell you, I watched those meetings and was a little bit perplexed about the debate, even. And then we're going to talk about the Blue Mountains later.
We are. Yep.
And if we are going to again, back to my earlier statement about a commissioner and the mandate, there's a mandate barring conservation concerns to provide recreational opportunity, and spring bear hunting is a recreational opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think the no votes, I I couldn't justify that in my mind to vote no, based on the biological evidence that staff provided.
They did a really good job too. Stephanie was on top of it.
Yeah, it was. Nobody's been more critical of agency staff than I have.
Right.
But, I have to say that the staff has really shown. Can't think of the woman's name, but she just hit it out of the park in her work during those meetings. And so I was disappointed in the vote and the outcome.
Yeah.
Because I think it was not a biological vote.
No, it was
a social issue, and I don't think that's their job.
Correct. I'm glad to hear you say that. That's important to have.
And I'm trying to think if I've, there may have been a time when I did some spring bear hunting. My springs just have been kind of busy, and I'm more of a fall hunter. And so I'm sure I did some spring bear hunting. Now that I think about it, I did back in the day.
But at the core of it is hunters supporting opportunity and not willing or wanting to see opportunity taken away, especially for political or emotional posturing versus sound science that said otherwise. Pretty much a slap in the face to WDWF staff that's overseeing those programs, a blatant disregard based on emotion. Tommy and I got into this several shows ago when this was a hot topic. We were going to discuss it a little bit with you, but I'm glad to hear you say that in your mind, as a commissioner, it's important to rely on science, not emotion.
You can challenge the science, and I question Rich Beaujolais about the cougar management as chair, and because I couldn't figure out why they just always said there's 4,000 cougar or whatever the number was, and it took me a while, and I finally pressed, and he says, well, Mr. Chairman, we don't count the cougar that are in the national parks or on tribal reservations. And I said, I ask you a direct question. How many cougar are within Washington State? Those places are within Washington State. Well, we don't have management responsibility for those populations.
So we just disregard them? Yeah.
I said, these animals are highly mobile.
Yeah, they don't roam past boundaries. Come on, Brian.
This is a good segue though, because we're going to jump into that.
We are going to jump into that. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a little pause here, give you a break, get a little drink, and refresh. First segment here. Lots of questions. We're going to get through some of this stuff too. People are lighting up my board here, so we got to pay attention to what you folks are saying, and we're willing to do that. We're going to take a break. Going to jump out for a little bit. We come back. We're going to introduce you guys to a little video segment on the water with Tommy and I. We put together a few weeks ago. Out on Puget Sound with Captain Paul Kim, the what, Tommy?
The Squid King of Seattle.
The Squid King of Seattle. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Paul takes his squid jigging extremely serious. If you haven't done it yet and are looking towards getting out and getting it done, pay attention. Paul and Tommy go over a ton of really good, useful information that you can actually put into motion and find yourself getting success on the squid ground. So don't go anywhere. Jump out for a couple minute commercial break. We'll come back with the Squid King of Seattle right here. Fish on Northwest.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima Boats are manufactured with pride right here in Bremerton, Washington. Arima Boats offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. With literally thousands of Arima boats on the water throughout the Pacific Northwest, Arima boats are a proven hull design that offers incredible fuel economy and all of the amenities that a serious angler is looking for. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Arima boats are designed to maximize deck space while also providing ample seating. Contact us today at Arima Boats for all your boating needs and let us help you get out on the water.
End of Watch Ride to Remember is a group from the state of Washington traveling across the country to honor fallen officers from 2019. End of Watch organizer Jagrut Shah says they want to show departments who've lost partners and friends they are not alone.
I wanted to bridge this gap that we have and bring back to the department, let the deputies or the officers know that their lost has not been forgotten.
In 2019, 146 officers were killed in the line of duty, and End of Watch Ride to Remember is on a mission to pay their respects to each of them.
For us, it's just important realizing that the men and women in blue everywhere should remember that they haven't been forgotten. We're not forgetting them. We want the families to know that their loved ones have not been forgotten.
What are we doing, man? We're downtown Seattle.
Yes, we are.
And?
We are usually not in this environment.
I don't like it here.
But the squid are here.
The squid are here.
We're here.
So we are going, squid jigging. Some might say squidding, but we're going squid jigging. Right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, we're getting our rain gear on. It's kind of loud here. We are literally downtown. Where are we at? What marina?
Bell Harbor Marina.
Bell Harbor Marina.
Yeah.
So
it's been a small craft advisory, but they've still been getting them. So we got a little break in the weather today, so it should be good.
And who are we teaming up with?
We're going out with the Squid King himself, Mr. Paul King.
Paul
Kim.
Paul King. The Squid King himself.
That's right.
Squid King of Seattle. Let's go find Paul. So 35 degrees and raining.
Yeah.
That's about as cold as it gets.
Yeah, that's the MO.
You know? You would think we were steelhead fishing.
Right. There we go. I'm ready for my quick draw.
What do you got? What do you got going there? Tools.
Cool.
Okay, let's go meet Paul. Can we do this?
Let's do it.
Not the best evening, but you know what? That's classic Pacific Northwest weather at its best, right?
That's right. This is perfect,
but
man.
Look at the scenery here. I mean, you got the wheels, you got the lights of the city. You know, it's a beautiful wet evening.
Yeah. A little chilly.
A little chilly. Yeah, it was snowing at my house when I left.
Was it really?
Yeah. It was coming down. So this is my deckhand Zach. He's going to be helping us out tonight.
Hey Zach.
This is Dwayne and Tommy. Dwayne and Tommy.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah.
How you doing? You ready for this? I'm sure you are.
Oh yeah. It's not his first rodeo.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's been around the clock for a few times.
All right, Paul, tell everybody who you are.
So my name's Captain Paul Kim. I'm the owner of Fish P&W Guide Service and Seattle Squid. And we're out here, hopefully getting into some squid here on a cold December evening in downtown Seattle.
No, hopefully. Yeah. No, hopefully.
The hope is not a plan, okay?
The hope is not a plan. Look, the followers of our show simply know you as the Squid King of Seattle, right?
I don't know how I got that title.
Well, that was last year.
That was us.
That's
how you got that name.
Give you a quick primer here.
Okay.
We're going to be using these weighted jigs, and these are kind of sequentially lighter, and they go heavier as they go down the line here, down to about a 1.5 ounce jig. And these are made with mylar and have UV and glow elements to them. So in order to get them to work, we got to have not only the right jigging action, but we also have to charge them up in the lights. And so that's why we've got lights all around the boat. We give them a little bit of a glow.
Gotcha.
They get charged up, and they mimic a phosphorescent fish or crustacean that's down there, which would be the natural prey of these squid, which are in the sound this time of year.
So hey, I noticed you got like an extra lead at the bottom of the jig.
That's
the
right.
Bottom jig that's 1.5 ounce
That's right.
already.
That's right. Yeah. So what we're doing is just adding a little 2 ounce dropper cannonball on the end of this lower jig. So we want it tapered. So we want lighter to heavier progressively, so that we don't get any tangles when we're dropping. Okay. We want to get down quickly. This year they seem to be a little more fickle. Last year we were finding them anywhere from 30 to 50 feet of water, but this year they're in anywhere from 80 to 100 feet of water. So what we want to do is, you know, that tide's going to be ripping, it's going out right now, and so we want to get that jig combo set down as fast as we can. We wanted a vertical presentation, and then we want to make sure that our jigging action is just fluttering with the pause. It's super important to have that pause. I don't know, for some reason this year they seem to like that pause.
They need that extra second.
Give it a
to
2 or
check
3
it out.
Mississippi. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So you got 2 ounces at the bottom, and then the bottom jig is 1.5 ounce.
1.5. Yeah.
What about the other two jigs?
We got a 3/4 out here, and then a 1/4 ounce up here.
Okay.
Yep. And you'll see there's no real hooks per se, but these are umbrella hooks that are that go around the actual jig, and when a squid sees this, they think, okay, well, that looks like a nice mighty fine snack. They're going to come up, wrap their tentacles around that, and then they won't be able to escape because they've got intertwined tentacles into these sets of umbrella jigs. So it's super important to make sure that every once in a while these foul. You want to make sure these are nice and curved up all the time. So it's really not much of a hook set. You feel density, you feel weight. Sometimes you can feel them pulsing on that line, trying to swim away, and you'll see that rod tip just kind of moving and pulsing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now talk about the main line. What are you running for main line?
So main line, we're just using a 20-pound braid, and then we're using a 50-pound monofilament, just Maxima, about 18 inches in between each jig set.
Yeah. Now you run the heavier line in between the jigs, not because you need it, but because you don't want the line wrapping around the hooks.
Correct.
of the jig.
Yeah, we want it as stiff as possible so it doesn't foul up and when we send it down, it's stiff, and we can have a nice tight feel to the whole jig set.
Now I noticed you got 3 jigs, different colors. You kind of have a pink and white up top, orange and green and white at the bottom.
Correct.
What's the thought process behind the color?
Yeah, so different colors put out different heat signals, you know, for the squid, believe it or not. And so, you know, traditionally pinks and whites are excellent colors for squidding. My next favorite is green, but last year we had our hot color was orange. This year it seems to be yellows. So, you know, go figure.
So you just never know.
You never know.
Yeah, that's why I noticed that the rods kind of all have different
there's
color.
not one dominant jig color that we use, but this year it seems to be yellow.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take 3 yellow.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, well, let's get going.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Paul, we go on anchor and sit here and...
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna go on anchor. We're gonna fire up the generator, get the lights on, and look. See, this is what they look like right here.
Let's take a look at that.
There we go. Like a carpet right there. So you see that? You see them dropping the anchor line right there, and then that buzz right there.
Drop the anchor right on their head.
Yeah.
Let there be light.
Huh.
There you go. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
that should bring them up.
You think? We got 4 of them.
Squid King's light game is very strong. Very, very strong. The
first thing we got to do is we got to get these babies charged up.
Yeah, you got to get them in the light, right?
Yep, got to get them in the light.
Okay. Get a good charge on them.
There we go.
Okay. Now we got squid moving in on the bottom because these lights are drawing them, right?
That's correct.
We got some current pushing.
This is quite the setup. We got drop lights.
Yeah.
We got floodlights.
Yeah.
How many lumens is each one of these lights?
Oh, they're about 50,000 lumens.
50,000 lumens.
There you go. Attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah.
So we take them off, you just grab the jig, turn it upside down, give it a little shake, and then boom, you're good to go.
They fall right off of there.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
impressive.
Yeah, no barb, no
right.
them, just flip them upside down.
There's a barbless fishery, Tommy.
Right.
They don't want you to catch too many.
Multiple barbless.
Multiple barbless.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh!
Now we're doubled
There we go, buddy.
There we go.
Oh, this is a tree shaker right here.
We got triple.
He's going under the boat.
There we go.
So there you go.
Nicely done, Tony.
You know, so the Squid King is saying, hey, you got to leave him out there for a second.
Yeah.
You know, let him do his thing.
Right.
And then bring him in.
Yeah.
Would you like to have some sashimi? Definitely could.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Well done.
A lot of that coco beano lately too.
Yeah.
You know that with a little bit of wasabi.
Yeah.
Perfect. Doing a cold vodka or like tequila.
Oh, I like that idea.
There we go. Doubled up. Doubled up.
How would you carry me? Oh, it's totally a petty squid.
Oh yeah, look at that little shape. Tommy's using the Krakens a minute ago. little bit bigger, that's fine. A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. Yeah.
Oh, double. Oh, a double.
There you go.
Double trouble.
Double trouble.
Oh, wow.
It's like squid on. That's loaded.
Wait, how come you're not done with your limit yet?
I am.
Been waiting for you.
Yeah,
about a half hour. We've all been sitting here.
About 30 seconds. Final finish with a double. There you go. Double Cooper. Yeah, so like, wow. You got like a month Cooper.
Yeah, there you go. Stay right there. There you go. Little buddy. Oh yeah, there we go. Huh?
You know. Limits.
Tommy, did you get any squid?
Oh, none at all. None at all. Maybe just, you know,
let's see,
the big boys. I did a little catch and release action in there.
Dark in there. We need some
to try
lighting.
to get some.
There we go.
Try to get some bigger ones in the mix. Yeah.
You did nice. Nice work.
Yeah, I went for the winter runs.
Yeah.
You know, not those summer runs that some of us were going after.
Yeah. Well, Zach's new to this, so.
yeah, it was Zach's fault.
It was
yeah.
Zach.
Right.
Well, Tommy.
Dude, another successful trip.
Man, I tell you what, Paul can't thank you enough.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Captain?
Got a little ink on my hands, but you know, it's just war paint.
The Squid King of Seattle. Seattle is positioned directly behind us. And to pull in here, busy street, construction going on, cranes everywhere, hustle bustle, holiday season, and just to go out right in front here and do what we just did.
That's right.
Well, and look at the conditions that we were dealing with, right? We're coming off a small craft advisory, right? So the water's all churned up.
Yep.
We had a little bit of rain tonight, which is not advantageous for squidding, but you deal with it.
Yep.
And then the other thing is we had an outgoing, right?
Yes.
Usually you like an incoming for that squid trip.
That's right.
Yeah, good point.
You were like, oh, it's going to be slow. It was anything but slow, let me tell you what.
It was pretty non-stop.
Yeah.
It was
pretty
non-stop.
It took us maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And we had our 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
times 4.
I mean, part of that is you've got this dialed in.
Well, I don't know if we've got it dialed in, but we have a lot of fun, you know.
Well, you know, I would highly encourage folks to look you up, book a trip, and come and see exactly what it takes to be successful. This isn't like you just show up in your 12-foot little boat with a kicker on and go out there and anchor up and put some flashlights in the water.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
How many lumens are these lights?
They're about 70,000 a piece. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And you got 4 of those.
We got 4 of those. So we're
And then
running
your submersibles.
Submersibles, and so we're running over 300,000.
Well, and there's like coaching involved too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not just, oh, you put the jig in the water and the squid climb on it, right? I mean, there's definitely a rhythm
technique.
to it.
There's a technique.
There's a technique.
Doesn't take long to get it down if you're a good listener.
Hey,
right.
we got
I listen.
we got good fishermen on board, so we gotta give the hats off to you guys for making it happen too.
There, there's just that slight little difference of pressure you feel in that rod.
That's right.
So Tommy prefers that shorter rod. I was using that longer rod.
Yeah.
That sensitivity on that tip. And contrary to popular belief, Thomas, they fight nothing like a kokanee.
It's like a kokanee.
Not even close.
Dude, I'll go squidding any day of the week over kokanee. Sorry, folks. But no, you know, like when we first got out there, you know, and you know, I think a big thing is you're setting anchor.
Yeah.
A little bit different program than some folks.
Oh yeah.
And you're drawing them, you're sucking them up to the boat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And so as soon as the deckhand Zach, you know, put that first jig in the water, he was hooked up. You know, and I go down and I'm jigging and I'm like, what gives, man? And he's got like 5 squid on the mount. I'm like, and I'm watching. He goes, no, it's a small jig, right?
Rhythm
small
and cadence,
jig,
right?
Yeah.
Rhythm and cadence.
So there's definitely something to it, and you guys are really good at coaching people up. And as soon as we got the jig down, we were hooking them left and right.
Got the jig down. I was amazed at how often just that dead
a dead stick.
Yep.
Just let it sit there for a minute, and pretty soon rod just loads up and doubles, triples, and yeah, they don't fight like a coping. But I tell you what, it was a good time. Couple hours, we got 4 limits, 40 pounds worth of squid.
Yeah.
Now Paul gets to clean them. So, anyway, where can folks contact you if they want to book a trip?
Yeah, so great plug, appreciate it. We're on Facebook as well as Instagram. Just do a search under Seattle Squid. Website's also fishpnw.com or seattlesquid.com. You can find us there.
You need to change that to the Squid King of
Squid King.
No. He's too modest for that.
I know.
He's too humble.
I know. But you know, you were coined that last year when you dare enter the dojo
because of this guy.
With him on the phone.
Yeah.
So can't thank you enough, man. This was a great time.
You bet.
Strongly encourage, families to bring kids out here.
Absolutely.
Maybe not on a night like this with the rain and the coldness.
We had a little bit of chop out there.
Yeah. There's some better weather windows to take advantage of. So anyway,
we want to be safe and we want to have a good time.
Absolutely. But well done, sir. Appreciate it. All right, that's going to do it for us out here on the water. We're going to jump out for a quick break. See you guys back in the studio here real quick.
Bam!
Well, there you go. Welcome back in studio, Tommy.
Another phenomenal trip. Thanks to Paul.
That was such a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah, appreciate everybody staying on here and hope you enjoyed that video. A little something we threw together there. A couple hours out on the water.
Yeah.
I probably had more time on the road, to be honest.
Yeah, you did.
That was a grind
just to get there.
To get there and get home and come home that night. And I had a lot going on.
And a downtown Seattle parking ticket to boot.
Oh yeah, the $44 ticket. Thank you, City of Seattle. Yeah, appreciate that. That whole thing, it's like, well, you can pay for your 2 hours. Then you can phone in and extend it after your 2 hour window. And well, I'm out there jigging squid.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
No.
But this is an opportunity that you don't typically think about, right? When you think of Washington State.
Right.
And it's a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, as you can see, evidenced in the video, thanks to Captain Paul Kim.
Yes.
It's prolific. The squid are prolific.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And Paul, I will say for Paul, he does a really good job at coaching everybody through it,
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely a fishery or a squiddery where like you would take your family, right? Like you can get kids involved in this.
Yeah, it's a good time. And of course, then again, later on here in the show, we're going to show you a phenomenal recipe that you're going to want to pay attention to, because to go out and harvest is one thing, but to ensure and share that bounty with family and friends and to do it upright, I mean, that's where it all just comes together for you. So can't thank Paul enough. Make sure you look him up, Paul Kim, on his social media. Easy to locate, and he is always, still booking trips through January here. The squid are still here. The season extends on through here into the winter. You might as well get him out there and get it. Maybe not on a night like tonight either. I mean, today, pretty blustery today, but get those weather windows, get those kids bundled up, go out there and have a good time. Okay, with that, we're going to jump out for a quick break. We come back, Brian. We have many more topics to discuss.
Absolutely.
Kind of going to walk down the realm of hunting, a little bit of controversy out of the Blues Mountains as of late with the current seated commission. I'm going to talk to you about the current commission and what you think about the way it's structured currently. We're going to get to some predator conversations. A lot of good stuff. Things that commissioners should know. Right?
Absolutely.
And we got some questions coming in here. Folks, keep throwing us your questions. We'll try to pay attention to those and interject those into the conversation. Don't go anywhere. Jump out for a quick couple-minute break. We come back more with Brian Blake in the hot seat right here, Fish Hunt Northwest. Allied boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Deep V 21-degree dead rise at the transom guarantees a smooth ride no matter the conditions. Allied offers all of our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Allied boats range from 19 to 32 foot in length, so no matter what type of heavy gauge boat you are looking for, we have it for you.
All of our Corsair 21-foot and larger designs come standard with reverse chine that is welded inside and out with no extrusions below the waterline, so that you will never have to worry about corrosion problems down the road. Get out on the water today in a boat that you can trust and enjoy with Allied Boats. Contact us at Allied Boats today to learn much more about our incredible fishing machines.
New days, new beginnings, new friends, new loves, new dreams, new goals, new scenery, new job. No matter what the next chapter holds, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate will be there to help you find the new that's right for your lifestyle at any stage of your life. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. Expect better.
Here we go.
Hey, welcome back in studio here. Dwayne England, Tommy Donlin with our in-studio guests, former State Representative Brian Blake, vying for a seat on the commission. I don't know why you want to get on the commission, but hey.
You know, it's a lot of work.
Oh, man.
From what I've observed of the other commissioners.
Yeah, and the pay isn't all that good from what I hear.
No,
So,
no, there's no pay.
we have a number of questions to get through on round two here. We just barely scratched the surface there, you know, the first go-around. So, I'd kind of like to get your opinion on the current commission as it sits right now. Obviously, we just had Kuntz resign, so we have 7 of the 9 seats occupied. Yeah. And as we already spoke of, is chair Larry Carpenter is, you know, who knows, in flux, I guess.
Yeah.
So some would look at the current structure of our Fish and Wildlife Commission and say it's fractured, you know, and they're a little concerned. Kind of, you know, what you put your lens on it. What do you see?
Well, I think you've got to have the full commission. Mm-hmm. There's got to be 9 members, and it's my understanding the statute requires replacement in 60 days. Mm. So I don't know what the enforcement mechanism of that is, but
who's actually counting days, or yeah.
But I think it's important for the commission to function, to be fully filled. And I think it's got to be filled with folks that that understand, as we talked about it in the beginning, folks that believe in the statutory mandates mm-hmm. of the commission. You know, if folks are on there and they don't believe in the statutory mission of the commission and mm-hmm. agency, mm-hmm. They have no business being on there. If they want to change that mandate, their job is over in the legislative branch.
Yeah, there you go.
And if they're going to be on the commission, they need to accept that mission. Mm-hmm. And so it's my hope that the governor will choose folks that are of that belief. Mm-hmm. And you know, would I like them to be hunters and sports fishermen and have knowledge of things, yeah, I would like that, but I think it's more important just to have people that are critical thinkers and believe in the mission, critical thinkers, open-minded, able to work with other people, and I'm seeing in recent history, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that they go find those people and get them on the commission. I think I can fill that role, but I'm open, it's not my choice, and I'm not running a campaign to be on the commission.
Sure.
But as I observed the current commission operating, I thought, I'm going to fill out the application so it's there if they want to consider me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say in the oath of the commission, I would add, if I could be king for a day, I would say I shall make objective, data-based decisions as part of my duty to the commission. I think at this point we've established that things are out of balance. We've got a chair that's not officially appointed. We've got an at-large seat that is vacant. We've got an east side seat that's been vacant for some time. And so now you've got this imbalance going on. We're going to get into the bear vote in a couple questions, but that bear vote came down to the fact that we had a 4-4 tie. And what was mind-blowing to me was that if you have a 4-4 tie, that means that you're not having a spring bear season. In my mind, that should mean it's a tie, you go with the status quo, right? Mm-hmm. And the status quo is to have that season. But really what I'm curious about is when you think of the duty of this commission, what and you mentioned the mission. What is the mission or the mandate for these individuals that are on the commission?
Yeah, and I can't quote it. I wish I could, but basically it's conservation. It's the overriding mission of the agency, and then within that parameter of conservation to provide recreational opportunity and commercial opportunity where appropriate, and is what it boils down to. And it seems so simple. And are there some close calls, and are there some failures? And I just found it odd that the bear discussion, spring bear discussion, the staff said biologically there are plenty of bears. We can have a season. We're recommending a season. They took their vote, switched gears, moved on to the next deal, was the coastal steelhead. Mm-hmm. And the staff report was, we haven't made a escapement in, 4 out of the last 5 years or whatever. And yet the same commission wanted to find a way to have a fishing season where they just had a different set of facts. Now, it blew my mind the juxtaposition of those two issues.
Right.
Now, I'm an avid steelheader, love my steelheading, and we've got to get those fish in a place where we can get back on the water on the coast and fish for those fish.
What I understand you're saying is like the science wasn't good enough to support the decision in the realm of maintaining, as Tommy said, a bear hunt.
Yeah.
But the science was concerning or good enough for concern on one regard, but yet we still got to find a way to have a season.
Yeah.
When the science says no, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
And over here, the science said yes, we should, and they went like this.
Yeah.
Right within the same meeting.
Same meeting. They just switched gears. And
well, you've seen what's been going on with the current commission.
Yeah.
You kind of, like you said, you watch the meetings, you see the posturing, you see the verbiage used and how we have to play to the base, and they're thinking about who truly their base is, that they want to make sure they treat right.
And those are the wrong people to have on the commission.
So what are you bringing? You're going to sit in the commission seat. People want to know. It's like, what do you bring to the table?
I think I bring knowledge and the ability to ask good questions and to bring out, a better understanding of the facts. And I think I know when to push for more information. I know when to keep my mouth shut and listen. And shutting up is a pretty good quality in a commissioner. You've got, as I said earlier, I mean, nobody has gotten angrier at Fish and Wildlife staff than I have. I mean, can't tell you the number of times I've marched over to the Natural Resources building with the intent of yelling at somebody, and I've got there, and the line to yell at people is around the corner, and it's like, oh God, I'm going back to my office, and I'm going to figure out a way to help these guys, and because it is a tough arena, Fish and Wildlife, and it's even tougher when you throw politics on top of it.
Well, we got a lot of comments going on. Tommy's going to jump onto another topic here in a second, but I just want to point out, as a sportsman, Brian hasn't been my favorite over the past years, as we've talked about, with your position on some of your constituents there in your district, but over the past years. But anyone who shows up in a Filson shirt and coat has my respect. So if dress code is a means of getting onto the commission, you're heading in the right direction. So just thought we'd point that out.
Just how I dress.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
All right, we're not having a fashion show here, guys. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about one of my favorite subjects. It's near and dear to my heart, the Second Amendment. Yeah. And so, people know that in your prior legislative experience, you were a Democrat. How do you view the Second Amendment?
So I remember when I was a freshman legislator and the NRA ratings came out that first year, and I was only rated an A, and I called them up and was reading them the Riot Act, and they said, Brian, you got to understand that there's no way, it doesn't matter who you are, you cannot be rated higher than an A starting out. And so I worked pretty hard and got myself up to an A+, and I'm a life endowment member of the NRA. I don't always agree with them. Some of the stuff that's going on has got me, a little shaky with some of the things they're doing. But regardless of the NRA, I'm a strong Second Amendment supporter. I've been loading my own ammunition since I was 12 years old. The shotgun loader was in my closet, and so all week long it was my job to produce enough ammunition for us to duck hunt the next weekend, and started loading my own rifle ammunition. I'm really into lever actions, cowboy guns. I'm currently having Jeremy Lair at Lair Customs rebarrel my 270 into a 270 Ackley Improved.
Beautiful.
And we have to have a whole reamer cut and everything to get that done. And yeah, I'm going to get 75 feet more per second, but that's fine. I've had that rifle for 32 years, and it's served me well, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
And so,
by the way, you're talking about reloading shells, and that was your job between hunts. If you hunt with this guy over here, you're going to have to reload a hell of a lot of shells, man. He sends a lot of steel into the air.
Is that right? Not that I recall. I was too busy running cameras. Anyway, so Brian, along with the responsibility of owning guns and using guns and hunting and shooting at range or what have you, there's been a lot of confliction as of late in the state of Washington. Some of it's coming from our governor's office, some of it from Bob Ferguson. Gun reform, laws they're trying to pass. Initiative 1639 back in 2018, and then went into place in 2019. I don't believe you were still seated as a representative. Senate Bill 5078 and its companion bill, House Bill 1164. If you're familiar with those at all, has to do with high capacity magazine ban, 10 or more, and had a lot of information there. I believe, if I can recall, barrel lengths were in there, I think, at some point, and just some of the ways of acquiring guns, gifting guns, all that stuff, right? I mean, you as a legislator, as a Democrat, sitting there when these things were, going through committee, passing through the House, passing through the Senate, and you're kind of reading this stuff people are bringing forward, being strong supporter of Second Amendment, avid hunter as you are, how'd this stuff sit with you?
Well, I was able to kill most of it when I was there.
Yeah.
You can see, so these bills are still trying to be passed.
They still are.
And, on the high-capacity magazine stuff, I said, so you got two magazines. They're the same magazine, and this one holds 20, 223, 556. The same magazine only holds, 7, 458 SOCOM. So which magazine is it?
Right.
Are you, how can you ban, is a 7-round magazine a high-capacity magazine? It's the same magazine. How do you, literally you can take the ammunition out of one, put it in one, and switch. It's.
Do you think some of this stuff they're going after is just a little bit over the top, a little too restrictive, a little too and for why? I mean,
it's not productive.
Yeah. It's going to make, so we need safer gun laws, right? Because too many people are getting killed. I mean, for those of us that are responsible gun owners and avid hunters, we don't really have a gun issue, right? And it's not us that are creating the issues or creating the problems. And to try to pass things through where persons are forced to register every gun they have in their house, and if it's not registered and you go to try to buy ammo, you can't get ammo for it because we don't, Mr. Blake, that gun's not registered to you. I mean, these are the types of things that we fear as avid hunters, and as this stuff comes up and rears its ugly head in legislation, we just kind of go, God darn, I hope this gets killed.
Yeah. So one of the things I've been proposing, and I never did write it up in bill form, because it really has to happen at the federal level. But we register sex offenders. Let's register, instead of registering people who have committed no crimes, let's have a federal registry of everybody that's prohibited from possessing or purchasing a gun.
That'll never work. You know why?
Why?
Because it makes too much sense. I mean, seriously, that's a phenomenal idea. Let's not penalize everybody. Let's penalize the ones that are creating the problems.
Just have a registry. We know that Joe, whatever, is prohibited from having guns. And it's like, Joe, there's a gun in your back seat. Right. You're going to jail.
I mean, understanding the fact that as a person sitting on the commission, you don't have any part of this any longer because you're not involved in legislation and passing laws and whatnot and even writing them. But I think it bodes well for people to understand your position as it relates to Second Amendment and some of these idiotic bills that have tried to get through and laws that have been trying to get changed and the handcuffing of America, so to speak, on those of us that just want to have the free right to fish and hunt and have the types of guns we choose to purchase, legally purchase. I think it's important for people to understand, you as a Democrat, this is where you draw the line. And as a commissioner sitting there, you're a gun enthusiast and you enjoy hunting and you enjoy reloading and you enjoy all those things that we enjoy doing in the outdoors as well. And I just feel it was important for us to kind of have that part of the conversation, let people know where you stand.
Yeah.
So let's jump back into kind of some of the recent commission discussions, particularly the Blues Mountain elk discussion, right? Calf mortality is through the roof. We're losing elk calves. We're nowhere near the objective for that herd in the Blues Mountains.
We're at 3,500 right now.
We're at 3,500. I think the objective is north of 6,000. I think 6,500, somewhere in that range.
It was 5,500.
I think it's
5,500.
Yeah.
And you look at that, and then you look at the response of some of the members of the commission. One who's no longer on the commission, and the response was, well, let's just lower the objective then. There's obviously not that many elk, lower the objective, maybe reduce the hunting opportunity in that area, and we should be fine. Do you think that they are dismissing the seriousness of the predator population? And again, going back to the data that WDFW, the staff provided, said that that elk kill, the calf kill, is about 70% from your mountain lions, from your cats. Do you think they're dismissing this threat?
Yeah, I felt their arguments were fairly nonsensical. So move the number to 3,500. I don't agree with that, but say move. They're at the current mortality. They're not replacing the 3,500.
Right. There's a slope.
So that
we'll just keep dropping down.
Right.
The 5,500 number is a red herring. You know, we have a problem, folks. And they're not replacing themselves at the lower number.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we've identified the reason why.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the science is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, just and then move up north to the mountain caribou.
Mm-hmm.
Until we agree to manage predators in that small area, Pend Oreille County, North Pend Oreille County,
mm-hmm.
you're not ever going to reestablish mountain caribou in Washington.
So recognizing the issues with predators in the state, certain pockets, I mean, would you say we have a pretty much a statewide mountain lion issue that needs to be addressed? I mean, and did this kind of evolve after years of unsuccessfully hunting them to the numbers of previous when we were allowed to use hounds back in the day?
I don't believe the hound hunting biologically damaged the cougar population,
mm-hmm.
even when it was
up and going,
running full bore.
Sure, yeah.
And that said, you know, I asked when I was chair of the committee, asked the department, made the premise that if we had year-round boot hunting for cougar, could we damage the population? And he said, no. There's no way you could.
Right.
They're very elusive. The reality is to manage cougar, even by GMU,
mm-hmm.
Probably the smartest way to do it is with hounds.
Mm-hmm.
Not for everybody, but I think biologically it's the best way to do it. And would it reduce I'm a boot hunter,
mm-hmm.
it would reduce my opportunity. Well, I say that, and I still haven't shot one. I buy a tag every year,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen them. I just haven't taken one. And so, yeah, I think, you know, what folks got to realize is 7.5 million people in this
mm-hmm.
state. We've got growth here, growth there, and folks want opportunity to hunt bear, cougar, deer, elk, etc. We're talking, fishing is part of this show. We want to reestablish fish populations. Part of that is habitat.
Right.
Part of that is beaver ponds.
Mm-hmm.
The guys I talk to say the reason you don't see beaver ponds up in the national forest is up the Wainuchi and Hump Tulips is the cougar have learned very well how to harvest beaver.
Mm.
And if we're going to get those coho back, those wild coho that we love, man, a wild coho on your rod is something else.
Yeah.
We need those beaver ponds. The life history of those coho
mm-hmm.
is to come out of the gravel and find a place to hide, which is usually a beaver pond. They spend that summer. Next year's freshets come. They head out into the estuary, and we've got to get those beaver ponds. And this is something we should have in common with the conservation community.
Sure.
And we've got to find a way to build bridges with those folks and say, come on, enough of the battles. Let's find common ground.
Well, I think to your point, I mean, it shows cause and effect, right? Yeah. We let the cougars get out of control. And then over the course of time, nature finds a way. Yeah. If one is predominantly dominant, it has a trickle-down effect that next thing you know, we're talking about fish.
Yeah.
So as a commissioner, I think you see the value in managing our predators, making the call when it needs to be done, unlike some of the things that we've seen come out of the governor's office and others, like as it relates to the wolves on the east side at times. I think WDFW, working with the feds early on in structuring this plan, you know, we don't want to see an overabundance of wolves on the landscape, but hey, bottom line is they're here to stay. They're not going anywhere, but they need to be managed. And they need to be managed to the point where when we have issues, somebody has to make that call to say, yep, okay, go, do what the plan calls for.
Right.
And to me, that sounds like it also relies on the science. And I've heard you say science multiple times in this conversation tonight, right?
My father was a science teacher. I've been, I've been raised with that core value of using science, but also it's okay to challenge science.
Sure.
And I think that's what some of these commissioners felt they're doing. But sometimes it felt disingenuous to me.
So we're talking about predators on the landscape.
Yeah.
How do you think we're doing in our pinniped populations control measures that are in place and currently what we're doing? I see a little grin.
Boy, this is the hot seat.
It is the hot seat.
I've long felt. I think Congress, has passed laws, the Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act, Migratory Bird Act, the Marine Mammal Protection Act. It was poorly designed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was necessary when it was passed, but they were writing a good bill, and then they never wrote the sections that said this is how we'll deal with it when they're recovered.
There was never a number to say fully recovered, stamp, right? And now what do we do?
And after they're recovered, how do we manage this?
Mm-hmm.
So Congress has got to go back and write that chapter about how we manage recovered marine mammals.
Right.
I love having them around. I've been out on the ocean and the gray whales migrating. Oh man, I mean it's
sure.
But they're I've read they're above historical numbers, and that's why we have dead ones washing up on the beach. They're overpopulated.
To that point, I mean, even back when I was doing radio and had you on the show, and we were talking about pinniped predation back then and salmon recovery and steelhead recovery. And I mean, same conversations repeating 10 years later, right?
Yeah.
There was I believe it was 2015 or 16, they accounted for around between 10 and 11,000 California sea lions in the Columbia River, from the estuary all the way up to Bonneville. In 1984, the total population of California sea lion, I believe, down there, the sea lion caves, everybody comes down to see, it's like a tourist attraction, go see the sea lions, was in around 10 to 11,000.
Yeah.
But the population got so out of control after the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 74 that they're like humans, they're going to outsource. They're just going to migrate and go find the food, right?
Yeah.
Pretty soon they land up here, and now we're met with this unprecedented amount of numbers of, fish-consuming mammals that are just absolutely out of control. And I think some of the regulations that have been passed to cull these mammals, including the stellar sea lions, is a step in the right direction, albeit just a Band-Aid approach. They need to get aggressive on this stuff, and I'm looking for some commissioners that will sit in a seat and help make those decisions and move that stuff through legislation to say, you need to listen to us and make sure this stuff happens.
I mean, folks were asked me a couple years ago about the issue, and they're like, what do we do? And I said, the first thing you do is you authorize every port and marina that has wharfs that they can haze sea lions off their wharfs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the sea lions they come to those wharfs, you know why they come there, because they can avoid predators.
Sure.
Sea lions actually have predators than seals.
Believe it or not.
Great white sharks, killer whales, the variety of killer whales that eats marine mammals, they're hiding. And so we've made this 5-star hotel for them, and they're protected.
Sure.
And so we can't even haze them off our sport boats and force them to lounge in places where they're more accessible to their predators that would naturally manage the population.
Least, right? Yeah.
We don't have to have a 50-member government team figure out how to trap them and euthanize them, and let's just let people haze them.
Cage them and take them down to California only to release them, and they actually beat the truck back to Washington State. I mean, those are good articles to read. If you
I've got about a $1.25 solution.
I know you do.
And it's after I bought the original piece of brass.
Right.
And it utilizes an AccuBond. It's very cheap and effective.
Yep. Yeah. Any final thoughts? Any closing words you want to throw out there before we jump out?
I just think we're at a critical juncture with quite a few conservation issues, mountain caribou, blue mountain herd, salmon and steelhead. You know, it's there's a lot of science coming down the road, genetics, what's appropriate stock in certain streams, and there's all these political agendas, and we've got to find partners and friends and sit down, maybe with people that we've been fighting with in the past, and build trust. And I can tell you that the tribes are not our enemy when it comes to fish recovery and the potential for us getting on the water in a way that like we used to. You know, where Westport was the salmon capital of the world, right? And but we've put ourselves in a hole, and
time to hand everybody a shovel, start digging our way out.
Yeah, right? We've got to start looking at folks that we think have been our enemy in the past and say, you know, there's got to be a different way. And that's one of the things I was working on, trying to. It took me a while to even, sit down and talk to Ron Garner, Puget Sound angler, and now we talk all the time.
Sure.
And do we have differences? Sure, we have differences.
Well, you and I have differences.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we can't carry on a conversation.
And the tribes in this state, I'm grateful that they let us fish. You know, they were here first, and it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes, but we need to recognize they have skin in the game too. Sure. And I know we're frustrated and sometimes, but they're actually pretty good folks.
Yeah. All right, with that, we are going to take a pause here, jump out for a quick little break. We come back, you know, Tommy, a little bit ago, we showed them how to go out and get them. Now we got to show you how to cook them up. And this is a recipe you are going to want to pay attention to and definitely give a try. You will blow the minds of friends and family when you throw this on the table. Don't go anywhere. Jump out for a couple-minute break. We'll come back with the recipe of the week, Italian sausage stuffed squid with Chef Jeff Maxfield and Shing in the kitchen, Finn's Bistro, right here, Fish on Northwest.
Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why we back our boats with a lifetime warranty. All of our Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. Defiance boats feature a 21 to 22 degree dead rise at the transom and a large reverse chine for incredible handling and stability offshore. Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Defiance boats feature fuel-efficient hull designs with large fuel tank capacity so that you can have maximum fuel range for making long offshore runs completely safe and affordable. All Defiance boats come standard with self-bailing decks for improved safety while at sea. Defiance Boat offers all our boats with Honda outboard packages so that you can take full advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Defiance Boats for all your boating needs, and let us help you get out on the water.
Today, the need for quality private security services is at an all-time high. Contract Security Service provides day-to-day peace of mind as they protect people and property. Phoenix Protective Corporation strives for excellence. Above all, Phoenix security officers are managed by leaders trained to inspire and encourage greatness. Here at Phoenix, we provide service for multiple state and federal contracts, with service ranging from uniform, patrol, alarm monitoring, canine detection, executive protection, as well as investigative work. We here at Phoenix are looking for highly motivated individuals to apply. If you're a vet, retired or active, and would like to work with us, please apply.
Welcome back to Fish Hunt Northwest. We're here in the kitchen with Jeff Maxwell, co-owner and chef at Finn's Bistro in Issaquah, Washington. And what do we have here?
We're doing squid. So, yep, this is prime squid time here in the Northwest. You know, they're flooding into the Puget Sound this time of year. They come in closer. It's kind of a spawning season for them. So you can access them from, you know, pretty much any pier or dock this time of year. It's a lot easier at nighttime to go out and get them with a big spotlight, but you know, you can get them off a boat during the daytime too. So
sounds fun.
Yeah, and this is a great way to do it, other than, you know, a deep fried squid recipe that you know, is delicious in its own way. This is a little bit of a different take on it. So what I've done is I've taken the squid and cleaned them out already. So they've been, you pull all the insides out. They've got that little barb. That's almost like a little piece of cartilage in there. You pull that out. And then I've taken the tentacles here and chopped those up that are going to be part of the stuffing.
Okay.
All right. So what we've got, we'll get a nice little bowl here, mixing bowl. This is just off the shelf, store-bought hot Italian sausage. Yep.
Spicy.
Spicy. I prefer the spicy one. So
I do too.
you know, it's definitely a
little bit more flavorful.
A little bit more heat, yeah. And we're going to add some of our own ingredients to it as well. Fresh chopped garlic.
Okay.
And I've got some shallot. Shallot, easily to find, you know, in any grocery store. You can substitute it with just a little bit of minced onion if you'd like.
And you usually saute them up.
Yeah. The best thing to do is you can extract a little bit more of their flavors by sauteing them lightly, letting that cool down before you add it to the meat. And then we've got a little bit of red bell pepper.
So you're doing a couple tablespoons of each.
Yeah.
Is what I see here.
And
for just 4.
For 4, yeah. I mean, this is a lot of sausage mixture. This would probably end up doing, you know, a dozen squid if you wanted to. And then that chopped up tentacle, we're going to add that right to it.
Do you saute that too?
No, that's actually all going to cook inside the tube. All right, a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of fresh ground pepper.
All right.
And a little squeeze of lemon.
Just a little squeeze.
All right. And easiest way to get that sausage mixture into the squid is by using a piping bag. You know, you can get disposable ones such as this one. They sell, you know, the ones that are reusable. Typically, if you're using a meat mixture inside of it, I would make sure you're washing it really well before you're decorating a cake or something like that. All right.
Italian sausage cake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so just invert the outer edge, and you can hold it in your hand just like this.
Okay.
And it helps to keep the outside of the bag clean. All right. We'll get that mixture in there.
Yeah.
So typically on a disposable pastry bag, the tip's always going to be closed. So you just want to kind of get that close to the bottom as you can. And we'll use a pair of scissors here.
Also, you don't even have to use the one tip.
No tips involved.
Yeah.
You just
awesome.
You want to get that mixture right up to the edge, and then we're going to hold that squid tube open, just enough to get the tip in there. Easier said than done. All right, right in there, and we're going to fill that. You just squeeze from the end, and we're going to fill that right up inside. See that?
It's great.
Okay, we'll do these ones here. Okay.
Toward the camera. Yeah.
All right.
That looks awesome. And
this mixture.
Throw them on the grill, right?
Yep, we're gonna close them up with a toothpick just to keep all that stuffing in there.
Yeah.
All right, get this out of the way here. All right, and so just a wooden toothpick, and we're just gonna skewer that right in, kind of weave it back and forth, and it'll just keep it all nice and closed. All right. Now, the easiest thing, you know, these work really well on a grill. You can do them in a saute pan on your stove. It's a great little appetizer, fun, you know, for dinner parties, that sort of thing. It's very Mediterranean inspired, you know, kind of a Spanish tapa. All right. So I've got a pan warming up here in the back.
Okay.
And all we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of olive oil and salt and pepper on these guys. And you would think that, you know, gosh, it's going to take a while to cook that filling. And it does take a little bit of time, but the nice thing is it's not going to get chewy. These don't, you know, you always think of squid getting really chewy if you cook it too much.
That's what I thought.
This actually doesn't get that way. All right, so we'll go right into the pan here.
Turn them and put them in the pan. And again, a pan that goes directly in the oven.
Yep, yeah, and you can do it. These, you know, you can just continue to cook right on top of the stove if you like. Okay. You know, just make sure you're not scorching them. All right, and we'll let those go for a moment.
Okay.
Yep. So now we're going to make a sauce that goes with it. This is one of my favorite items at a grocery store. Mama Lowe's peppers. I believe his grandmother actually started making these pickled peppers, and they're Hungarian goat horn peppers. So they're kind of sweet and hot at the same time. They're made locally here in the Seattle area. So all we're going to do is we're going to turn this into an aioli, or essentially a mayonnaise.
Okay.
So we'll take
a fancy mayonnaise.
Fancy mayonnaise. So we'll take some peppers. The oil in there is just fine because we're going to add a little bit of oil to emulsify that. Okay. And egg yolk, which is you know, kind of the heart and soul of a mayonnaise, which is what helps to suspend that oil in there.
Right.
A little bit of sherry vinegar. You can just use red wine vinegar if you like. Yeah.
No,
Shing
vinegar.
And then a little bit of garlic. And then a touch of honey. Honey's also an emulsifier, and it'll also kind of add a little bit of sweetness to it to balance out that vinegar.
I would have never thought to add
emulsifiers work really well. You know, egg yolk obviously is one. Dijon mustard, honey works really well as an emulsifier too. So, and we'll use this immersion blender. I just make sure I'm not knocking everything over.
Your favorite thing?
Favorite thing in the world. This is my second one now. And we're just going to go kind of on a medium or low speed just to get everything kind of chopped up. If not, you'll be wearing it.
Yeah.
All right. And so I'm going to turn the speed up a little bit more. And we're going to slowly drizzle in some vegetable oil. Yep. Oh. Vegetable and olive oil blend.
Right.
And you just, you know, it's kind of like making a hollandaise sauce. You want to go slow, make sure it's getting incorporated. Now I can speed it up a little bit. And we start. So 1 egg yolk, which is typically an ounce, will suspend about 3 ounces of oil. So. Yeah. See it coming together there, starting to thicken up.
And you always want to add it slowly because you can't take it back out.
That's right. And once it breaks, then you kind of have to throw everything out.
Right.
All right, so we've got our sauce done there. Get that out of the way. And we'll do a plate. So I'm going to turn these over real quick. All right. And through the magic of...
They puff up.
They do.
Yeah.
And we'll put that right on the plate here. And again, you know, serve this with a salad would be great, just as an appetizer, or make a whole plate of them and have it for dinner.
Is this the same sauce you use with octopus?
Yep, this is on our octopus dish in the restaurant.
Good.
Yep. And so I've got some here that I've already got done. And you can see they puff up a little bit. They get that nice kind of golden color. Right. Just remove those toothpicks. And you can arrange them however you like. You know, we can film that way.
Fancy squid.
Little squid game. And then I've got a little bit of fresh rosemary. Why not?
Awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
There we have.
Definitely going to dig into that one.
Yeah. There we have our Italian sausage stuffed grilled squid.
And we'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Hey, welcome back in studio as we're winding it down here. That is a phenomenal recipe.
It is.
I'm pretty excited looking at the old numbers here, and there are plenty of people that hung around to take that one in because we told you, and we would strongly recommend that you give that one a go. Not only is it fairly easy, right? It's pretty hard to screw that one up.
It is.
And make that spicy mayo concoction, whatever we call that, and I'm telling you, you're going to love that one. So, Brian, can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Yeah, this is important, and I try and tune into the show when I have time, and very important topics you cover.
Appreciate that. I mean, this is Tommy and I feel like we're trying to, put something out there where we can have these adult conversations that other shows and other folks aren't willing to have. And there is a small contingent of folks that still believe will change their mind, but they still believe that, look, I fish and hunt because I don't want to get into politics. Well, we're not asking you to get into politics, but we're asking you to pay attention as to what goes on behind the scenes, because it's that type of stuff that keeps us off the water, out of the woods. And when you don't get to go play, you go, what the heck's going on? Well, you should have been paying attention because we tried to tell you, right?
Yeah.
So we appreciate it when guys like you from the walks of life and the road you've traveled take time to come in and speak to the people, let them know a little more about who you are, what you stand for, whether they think you got skeletons in the closet and they're out to screw the recreational fishermen. I mean, this is why we wanted to have you in here.
Hunting and fishing is the heritage that my father passed on to me, and I want to pass on to others.
Right. Yeah. Well, we appreciate your time, appreciate your effort. We'll see where we land with the governor's appointments, and hopefully we'll see if you can't find yourself into one of those seats. We'll see where we end up. So.
Yeah, talk about a real hot seat.
There you go. That is a real hot seat. Can't thank you enough. All right, it's going to do it for us. Tommy, any last words?
No, we got the Sportsman Show coming up, so don't miss that.
February 2nd through the 6th. They've bumped it into February, which I'm good with that. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks, but yes, thank you for the reminder, Thomas. February 2nd through the 6th, Puyallup Sportsman Show. We will be there, full booth. Lots of swag, lots of things to sell, lots of things for you folks to buy, and come and hang out. We'll have the tub chairs and our mini studio set up. Just plop on down, have a conversation, share a cold one, and look forward to that show. So with that, we have another great show lined up for you next Thursday here in studio, 6 p.m., so don't miss it. Be sure to stay in contact with us via social media throughout the week. Facebook, of course. Check out our YouTube channel if you have not. Subscribe if you would, please. And take our content and share it out there so more of our friends can join us each and every week right here at Fish Hunt Northwest. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday, 6 p.m.